Okay, now 31 Basotho nationals believed to be zamas have died at an abandoned mine shaft in Welkom in the Free State. According to the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, the illegal miners died in a ventilation shaft 5 Virginia mine. Moloko Moloto is there this hour to give us more on this story. Good afternoon, Moloko. So is it clear what happened there in Virginia?
Good evening, Braden Moyane. Well, up to so far, we only know information as was provided by the Department of Mineral Resources. As you correctly said, 31 people who are Basotho nationals, they are suspected to be illegal miners, perished inside that particular mine. And what is strange about this, Braden, is that the South African authorities were alerted to this by the Foreign Affairs and International Relations Ministry in the Mountain Kingdom of Lesotho when they informed South Africa's High Commissioner about this. And this was on the 18th of May last month. But this information, we receive it through a media statement issued by the Mineral Resources Department only last night. And the majority of those people who are deceased remain underground. Apparently, only 3 bodies were brought out to surface by some of the illegal miners there. And it is dangerous, of course, for the inspectors of the mines to go in there, according to the Minerals Resources Department, all because of the dangerously high levels of the methane gas. And they are saying that they are still assessing the situation. But let's hear from the South African Police Services. I'm joined now by Brigadier Machele, who speaks for the Free State Police. Thank you so much for your time, Brigadier. From the police's side, what do you know beyond what the ministry has communicated?
Yes, after receiving the 3 bodies, you'll realize that in such an incident, we have to open an inquest. But over and above the information which we have, that there were 31 bodies, which some of them are still underground. It's information which still need to be processed. And at the present moment, we cannot, as such, say we can account for those bodies until they are brought to the surface. And that responsibility doesn't lie solely with the police. We have to work hand in hand with those who are doing such rescues from the mine itself. And we have been having some engagements with them just to make sure that when the time is right and when they have assessed the situation and it can indicate to us that it's safe to go, then we'll allow that process. And in the end, then we can receive the bodies if there are any bodies.
The fact that the South African authorities were alerted to this tragedy by a government in Lesotho creates an impression that perhaps as the country, specifically you as the police, because you are responsible for maintaining law and order, are not aware of activities of illegal mining in this small town.
Look, one person who was there ran to Lesotho and is the one who reported to the authorities in Lesotho. And the responsibility and the protocols accordingly, the authorities in Lesotho then informed our leaders in South Africa. But from the side of perspective of the police, we got the information when the 3 bodies were brought to the surface and we attended to that. But operations as far as combating is concerned are continuous in the province. Almost weekly we are having operations. And there are people who are arrested, and eventually some of them are only being charged for being illegal in the country. But as to operations going on underground, it's something which we still have a long way to go to combat it.
Yeah, and I want to ask about the impediments in terms of fighting illegal mining activity. We know that usually they are heavily armed. I was there in Orkney in the northwest when several of them, about 19, were arrested early this year, and they were the police confiscated about 15 AK-47 assault rifles. How dangerous is this operation for you as the police?
Look, in our area we had some few incidences where there was crossfire between the police and the illegal miners. And there were instances where some were arrested and firearms were confiscated. It's rife and it's there, and we are always meeting it fire with fire, because we know when you go to such operations, you don't just go empty-handed. You must go and knowing very well that there will be confrontation, especially from those people who are doing illegal mining. But from your question on how rife or how can we say we have succeeded, you'll realize some years back you could see in the area of goldfields people who are mining on the surface openly. But we managed to combat that. We don't see it anymore in the area from Welkom up to here in Virginia. The only problem we are sitting with is at these unused shafts, where you always have a problem of people going down there while they are not being observed by anyone or supervised by anyone.
All right. Just a quick one, Brigadier. What is the way forward? We have many bodies underground. Tomorrow, what's going to be happening going forward?
As I said, it's a collective effort. We are working hand in hand. SDMR already released a statement. Mining authorities will also look into that. When will it be safe? And we cannot, as the police, say, let's go down. It's not in our environment. We rather wait for, because when you do such a rescue or search, you need to take into consideration the lives of those people who will be doing that, so that they are not also affected. So we'll wait, and when the time is right, then we'll be informed by those who are able to do that, and we back them up.
Thank you so much for your time, Brigadier Machele, speaking for the South African Police Services. Braden, the Department of Mineral Resources in their statement described this as a unique situation. And of course, some people will say, how is that possible, considering the fact that we know how rife the issue of illegal mining activity is in the country. But also, this is not the first number of people who died in large numbers. We have seen in November about 19 or 20 bodies recovered from a mine in Krugersdorp in Johannesburg. The Minister of Mineral Resources, Gwereman Dashe, has on several occasions indicated that illegal mining activity in South Africa is just on the verge of reaching crisis proportions, saying that it threatens national security, but also it undermines the authority of government, acknowledging that usually the illegal miners are heavily armed. Braden, of course, we are going to be here hoping to hear from the Mineral Resources Department whether there is or they are going to find a way of getting into that shaft to retrieve those particular bodies, which, as I said, according to their statement, died from as early as the 18th of May. Braden?
Thank you very much, Moloko Moloto. They're in Virginia, in the Free State.